Have you ever spoken the truth and suddenly found yourself treated like an enemy? It's a strange and painful feeling to stand for God, only to be rejected, criticized, or even hated for it. But this is exactly what happened to Paul and Barnabas in Acts 14. After preaching the gospel in Antioch, Paul and Barnabas faced fierce opposition. Some hearts opened, but others hardened. When they arrived in Iconium, they spoke so effectively that many Jews and Gentiles believed. But not everyone celebrated. The religious leaders who rejected their message stirred up the people, planting seeds of suspicion and hostility. Instead of backing down, Paul and Barnabas stayed longer, boldly speaking for the Lord, performing signs and wonders. They knew something that many of us forget. Truth doesn't become less true just because it's unpopular. But the opposition grew so fierce that a plot was formed to mistreat and stone them. They fled to Lystra and Derbe, not because they feared man more than God, but because their mission wasn't finished. They knew there's a time to stand and a time to move, as Jesus himself often withdrew from danger until his appointed time. In Lystra, a man who had never walked listened to Paul's preaching. Paul looked straight at him, saw faith in his eyes, and commanded, "Stand up on your feet." And the man leapt up and walked. The crowd went wild, but instead of worshiping God, they tried to worship Paul and Barnabas as gods. Paul and Barnabas cried out, "We are human, just like you. Turn to the living God, who made heaven and earth." But even as they tried to redirect the glory, their enemies from Antioch and Iconium arrived. The same voices that once stirred suspicion now stirred violence. The crowd turned. Paul was stoned, dragged out of the city, left for dead. Yet God wasn't finished with him. He got up, went back into the city, and continued the mission. Here's the truth. When you live and speak for Christ, some will rejoice, and others will resist you. Jesus promised in John chapter 15, verse 20, "If they persecuted me, they will persecute you also." But like Paul and Barnabas, we're not called to measure success by applause or acceptance. We're called to be faithful, even if it means becoming someone's enemy, even if it means wounds, misunderstandings, or loss. So if the world turns against you for speaking truth, remember this: the same God who raised Paul from the dust will raise you from discouragement. Your mission isn't over until he says it is. Subscribe and follow for more encouraging Bible stories.